And once again, this is CG with Dermie. A ton has happened since the last time we visited Dermie. Fill us in.
We talked about the grill opening insert that I built last time, and before I even did that, I bought a Griffin radiator. This is a vintage air AC condenser that I mounted on it, and what the problem was is ducting everything in through the radiator. The original radiator on this truck set way out in front here. This is a piece that I cut out. This was actually right about in this area. So I cut it out, filled it, brought this bead around to make it look factory, and then filled these. And as you can see, I've channeled all the air right in through the radiator, so it has to go through it. Then we talked about the grill earlier, and this shape here made me think of this. I didn't like this at first, like I told you before, but once I did the grill bars, it really brought it together nicely. And as you can see, once you set it in here, it really looks pretty dang good.
Outstanding. Wow, look at that. That looks mean, but it also looks purposeful.
It even looks kind of bow tie GM.
A little bit.
I think. So I'm really happy with that. So it mounts in here solidly when I bolt it in, and I think it's going to work really well. So this is a Griffin radiator that I had custom built, and I got a hold of them and talked to them about the look that I wanted. I wanted to make it look factory. I didn't want it to make it look like a late model aluminum radiator. So I was real adamant about the ribs being in there, and one of the ladies there told me that Chrysler had a real wide tank that would work really well, and it works for me. I really like it a lot. So eventually it'll get painted black and look like it came from the factory that way.
Is that your goal with the Sledster? You're trying to keep some of the factory pointers?
Trying to keep it looking old and vintage, but still with a really new and modern look to it. I had to build a new core support to move the radiator back a little bit. You can see some of the ducting that channels the air into the radiator that I had to build. The shroud on the other side will eventually have a vintage air Spall driven fan on it. They've just come out with a new fan that I'm really excited about, so you'll see that in an upcoming episode. One big giant fan. We briefly talked about this before. This is a mock-up engine, LS, and I wanted to make it look like a small block Chevrolet. So these are reproduction valve covers, but underneath them are adapter covers that actually are the valve cover, and I've machined them down to minimize the look that you would see of the adapter. And once it's painted orange and I've done a few more things, you'll hardly be able to tell. Cadillac air cleaner, carburetor style intake manifold. There'll be fuel injection underneath it that'll actually look like a carburetor too. There'll even be a oil fill neck right here like the old small block Chevrolets had, and it'll be operational. Should sure really give it a neat look, you know, the guy that doesn't know would look at it and think it might be a small block Chevrolet, and that's the look I want to go for.
I can't wait, Dermie.
Thanks. Neither can I.
So what's coming up next?
Next, we're going to be talking about the inside of the dash. I've already showed you the guts of the dash. Eventually, I'll be welding it back in, but before we do that, I want to show you what's happening before we cover it all up.
All right. So what should we be doing?
Subscribing. Tell all your friends. Subscribe. I need a lot of followers.
Dynamite.